Hey everybody, let me know if you can hear me in chat, please. That music is really loud in my ears. Hey everybody, welcome to another Friday live stream. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. And hey, Ben Jacobin just showed up in the chat. That is my manager at Treehouse. So hey there, Ben. And yeah, we played Mysterium earlier. I wasn't allowed to talk in it. You can't see it too well. Hold on, let me see if I can change this real quick. Let's go over here to this one. There you go. You get a little bit of an idea of. I actually have that's just one shelf. I've got 3 of these things full of games. So yeah. We played a board game earlier, and that was fun. And I wasn't allowed to say anything because I was a ghost. So, cool. Yeah. Alright, so, this week, we are going to build, or try to build, a game with Pygame. Now, I haven't done Pygame in forever. So, I make no promises that things are actually going to work. But we will find out. Hey, Ben, while you're here, can you bug Patrick or somebody on the video team to update the description on this stream? Thank you very much. So we're going to try to build something with Pygame. So I have a wonderful book right here, the Python Crash Course by Eric Mathis. Which I did technical review on, and it's got stuff about Pygame in it, and as you can see here, I have several tabs open with stuff about Pygame, so I'm going to do my best to make some sort of game, and at least show you all a little bit of how Pygame works, and how game development with Python works. So hello to everybody in chat. Jiwoo, nice to see you. Marine, welcome back. This is like your 3rd or 4th week in a row. That's amazing. So hi to everybody. I'm so glad you're all here. So I have Pygame installed, which that right there is a giant change from the last time I used Pygame. The last time I used Pygame was 2 years or so ago, and it was not pip installable. You had to go download a binary from somewhere, and then you had to what was it? You had to go clone it from the Mercurial repo, and you had to install a whole bunch of other libraries, and then you just had to do all sorts of things. So I do think, though, that I'm actually missing a couple of background libraries, so I'm going to get those installing real quick while I talk about things. So SDL image, and SDL TTF. I think those are the only ones that I need. Oh, I may also need the mixer. So anyway, so Pygame is a library for building games in Python, but it's also a library that you can use for just kind of building GUI applications in general. Most of the time people use it for building games, but you will find people that use it for building just simple GUI things. I want to have a thing where I can type in some stuff. And then it works, right? So let's see. Let's get the mixer and port MIDI. Cool. Eduardo, welcome back to the stream. Hey, Dennis. Hey, everybody. That's awesome. This is a nice big group for today. So the last thing that I built in Pygame was actually for my son's school. So my son, his school does a thing where parents can come and do enrichment courses for students. So if you're like, oh, I know how to do, well, in my case, I know how to program, right? Then you can go to the school, and like on every Friday you show up and you teach whatever kids have signed up something. And so the thing that I did was I taught them Python, or I tried to at least. It's really hard to get like third graders, fourth graders to want to type things. So I did my best to get them to play game, or to not to play games, but to learn Python, and several of them did a good job of it. A lot of them really did not like doing it. So I learned that kids don't always want to play video games, or not play video games. Kids don't always want to type. That was their biggest problem, was they didn't want to do any typing. So so what I did was I made some games for them so they could kind of see like how stuff worked. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. But while doing that, I learned that I don't know much about Pygame at all. So I'm still in that world, just so y'all know. Okay, cool. So I've got some assets here that I'm going to try to use for building a game. And I can't promise that any of these are going to be good, but we'll find out. But these are cool. I got all of these off of no, not Theme Forest. It's related to Theme Forest. What is it? It is. Hold on, their thing will come up in a minute, and I'll be able to see what the other sites are. There we go. Graphic River. That's it. So if you need video game stuff and you want to pay for it, Graphic River has a lot of really cool, like, you can hop on and get like a bunch of special effects or some fantasy backgrounds for $7. And then there's also letsmakegames.org and opengameart.org. So these may be a little bit more where you have to dig through because it's free stuff that people have submitted. But there's tons of free stuff on here as well. That's cool to use. So, okay. Let's see about getting a game going. And to do that, we're going to do... Where was that thing I found? Here we go. We're going to work through just a little bit of this tutorial in order to get like the basic stuff set up. And then we'll try to build something without reading too much. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So let's make a new file. And we have to import Pygame. And then from pygame.locals, import star. And this pygame.locals module, it has... it's got all sorts of stuff that you end up using a lot that you don't necessarily want to have to keep re-importing each time. So it's like, do I know if the user pushed the up key? Or do I know that, what color is red kind of thing? So while I hate doing star imports, this is one of the better ways to bring all of this stuff in. Rafael is watching from Brazil, and Safala is watching from Tunisia. That is amazing. So thank you both for tuning in. Rafael, I've been playing a game recently from a bunch of Brazilian designers named Heavy Metal Machines. It's been a really awesome game. So, yeah. Y'all have some great game designers down there. Okay, so at this point we can do pygame.init. And what this does is this just fires up the Pygame engine, right? So it just gets things running. It doesn't actually let us do anything amazing or impressive at this point. We just have it's like it's waiting and watching. So what we need to do is we need to set up some other stuff. So the first thing we'll do is we'll make a screen. And we do this by using pygame.display. So this is our display, right? That's our thing that comes out. And then we set the mode, and the mode takes a tuple, or tuple, of the dimensions of the screen. So let's do a really quick one at 800 by 600. And So we'll just save that, and then I'm going to run it down here, game.py, and if you watch, did y'all catch that? That tiny little flash, just a little blip of a thing there. That's the screen. It came up, and then it went away because it had nothing to do, right? It showed the screen and then went away. And we've got somebody watching from Ireland. That's awesome. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? So, obviously, it needs to do more than just throw the screen up, throw the screen away, right? So we want to have stuff in here. Most of this is what's done inside of what's called a game loop or an event loop. And this event loop is a bunch of code that runs every time the screen gets drawn. So we draw the screen, we do whatever's in this loop, and then we redraw the screen and do whatever's in the loop. And then we redraw, right? Over and over and over again. So every video game works this way. I mean, like, whether you're playing, you know, Dishonored 2, or you're playing Super Mario Brothers, or you're playing, you know, Tetris, they all work the same way, where we draw stuff on the screen, and then all these other events happen, right? The user pushes buttons, or the enemy moves, or a bullet gets fired, or whatever, and then we redraw the screen again. Ideally, you want to do this 30 to 60 times a second. But we've all played games where that slows down to like a 1 update per second crawl, right? Okay, so following this real Python tutorial and kind of working through this in my own way as far as what I've done and what I know, we're going to add a bit more to this. So we're going to make a running variable, and this variable is whether or not our game is running. So while it's running, I can't type running today apparently. While it's running, then we're going to look at all the events that come in. So for each event that comes out in pygame.event.get, pygame.event.get, if you didn't guess, goes and gets events, gets Pygame events. And hey, people keep checking in. That's awesome. Somebody from England, David, and Dennis from Kenya. That's amazing. Really glad to have y'all here. Okay, so for every event that happens, then we're going to do something. So if the event.type is equal to keydown, and this is one of those things that we imported from pygame.locals, and if the event.key is equal to the escape key, then we're going to set running equal to false. So if you hit escape, then it's going to jump out and go away from everything. So we're just going to end the game at that point, okay? Otherwise, if the event.type is equal to quit, which means that we've closed the window, then we're going to also set running equal to false. All right? So now we could probably change those a little differently. Like we could probably compress those together or something, but let's not worry about that for now. And we've got somebody watching from Serbia. That's amazing. Welcome. So let's go ahead and run the game again and see what happens. So, hey, look, I got a window that says Pygame window. You can see that right there. And so I should be able to quit this 2 different ways. I should be able to click the X and it goes away, which we can see now it's not running any longer. And I should, when I'm inside this window, be able to hit escape. Oh, that one didn't work. Okay, we're not going to worry about that, though. So escape didn't work, but closing the window does. And it might be that escape doesn't work because I'm running it from inside my terminal or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I can close it through the other method. So that's fine. All right. So hello, people from Serbia, Sudan, and someone else from Kenya. That's awesome. I am amazed at how far the internet reaches and brings people together. Like, that's just really cool. And India. Awesome. Okay, so we're able to get the game running, and we're able to pay attention to we're able to pay attention to some events that happen, right? So we have a key down event, and we have a quit event. Let's try adding another key down event here. Let's just experiment for a little bit here, and let's see if we do key up. I'm gonna bet up exists. Then I want to print pressed up. All right, so let's try that. Let's see if that happens. All right, I'm on the window. I'm going to push my up key. Nope, not working. Okay, that's cool. I didn't want to be right anyway. Okay, so we won't worry about that one for right now. We'll worry about some other stuff. So the next thing here in this tutorial is talking about surfaces. So a surface in Pygame is just something that you can put something on, right? So if you're used to doing like web development and you have a div, right? You can put whatever you want into a div, basically. Or if you're doing front end stuff and you're doing yeah, let's see. How about that? Is that a little better on Learn Everything in Computer? Trying to make the text as large as I can. Make sure that you make your stream as high quality as possible. Everything is currently going out in 1080p, so if you're at lower, it's much harder to see stuff. But I'll make that as large as I possibly can. Control C, no escape on the terminal. Let's try that one. Let's try that. Python game.py. Inside there, Control C. That totally works. Cool. So, great. Thanks. Okay, so a surface is a thing that you can draw on, right? And a rect is a rectangular area that something lives in. So, so let's try making a surface, and let's try making a rect. So I think we want to do this inside the while running. So let's make a surface here, pygame.surface. And again, we pass this a tuple, which is 50.50, or 50 by 50, okay? In a Clash Royale asks, could I make an Android game using Java on live stream? No, because I don't know Android or Java, so those won't do me any good. Yeah. And then let's fill in this surface. And here we pass it a tuple with 3 things in it, which are the red, green, and blue values. So we're going to make this one white, because we're turning all those on all the way. And then let's do rect equals surf.getRect. Haha, get wrecked. Okay, but just creating a surface isn't actually enough, right? We've made the surface, but we haven't actually drawn it to the screen. So to draw a surface onto a screen, or to update a sprite, or to do anything like that, what we have to do is we have to blit it, B-L-I-T, and I don't remember what that stands for, but it's a bitmap thing. So let's try this, screen.blit, and we're going to blit the surf onto the screen, and then we're going to say where to blit it. And so we're going to blit it at 400 and 300, so it's going to be in the middle of the screen. Hey, Taysir, we are building, or we're kind of building a game, but we're playing around with Pygame to see what we can do. And then we're going to do pygame.display.flip. So what actually happens is the screen.blit right here draws it onto the screen buffer. We write it into the buffer. And then when we do the display.flip, that's when it actually like rewrites the display. So let's try running that one. And check it out. There is our triangle. Now, we can't do anything with the triangle at this point, but there's our triangle. So, can't do escape, but we can do Control-C. So, cool. All right. So, all right. There we go. We've got a super basic thing, right? We got a screen up on the screen, and we drew a surface onto that screen. So let's see, I'm going to look back over here at chat. NA Clasher asks, what languages do I know? I've done professionally, like, all sorts of front-end stuff. I've done PHP, I've done Python. I did Ruby for a little while, didn't really care for it. Yeah, most of my stuff's in Python. I do play around with other languages just to kind of learn things every once in a while. But yeah, it's mostly just Python and English badly. Okay, so let's make a sprite. Let's play with this part here. So a sprite is a 2D representation of something on a screen, right? It's a picture that we want to display. So when you were playing Super Mario Brothers and you've got Mario, he is a sprite. He's actually multiple sprites because there's the jumping Mario, the standing Mario, the whatever. Okay. So let's try this. Let's actually make a new file, and inside here we'll import Pygame from pygame.locals import star, and then let's make our player sprite. So pygame.sprite.sprite, and then we'll set up the init method for our sprite. Oh, thanks, Posnever. BLIT stands for block image transfer. So there you go, block image transfer. And then we'll do super.init. And then we'll set the surface for our sprite to a Pygame surface. And we'll make this one 75 pixels by 75 pixels. And we'll fill that with white again. And then we'll hold on to what the rectangle is. Self.surf. That is a horrible thing to try and repeat. We'll get that rectangle. So I'm going to call this one player.py, since it's my player sprite. All right. Okay, cool. So now let's try putting that into here. So we'll do from player import player. And let's instantiate a copy of it here. And then what do we want to do? Blah, blah, blah. That makes it keep running. Okay, and so then instead of creating this surface and filling it, we don't want to do any of that stuff. We want to just put the player onto the screen. Okay, so we're going to do screen.blit player instead of screen.blit like whatever. All right, so run that again. That failed right away. Oh, this has to be a surface. Right, because self.surf is the surface, so player.surf. Cool. Hey, check it out. There is our thing. So let's look over here again, see what else we got. Do you learn this from real life? You check out Treehouse. Yeah. Okay, cool. So there we go. So we've got the thing again that we had before. What did I do with that? Oh, I did 75 by 75. Haha. That's why it looks different. Let's do 75 by 25. Cool. So, and I realize that right now I'm basically following this tutorial on the live stream, but like I said, it's been a while since I've done any of this stuff. But let's get a couple things down, and then we'll start seeing what we can build on our own. Okay, so we're doing this pygame.event.get, and so that's cool. That's got its own stuff that gets all the events, but we can actually use this pygame.event.getPressed, and that will give us all the keys that have been pressed. So yeah, so that's fun. So let's try building that, and let's do that. You know what? Let's actually do this. Let's do like def main, and then indent all of that. And at the bottom, if name is equal to main. Okay, and then let's make sure that still works. Should see the thing drawn. Yep, cool. All right, so then up here, I'm gonna add in this def update. And oh, that's gonna go into the sprite. That's cool. All right, hey Sprite, how are you doing? All right, I promise we're not sponsored by Coke. Okay, so we're gonna have this method that is def update, and def update is gonna get which keys have been pressed. So if pressed keys k up, so if k up has been pressed, then self.rect.move IP 0 minus 5. So we're gonna move in pixels. Can Python be used to make iOS or Android games? Kinda. So Android has Python built in, I do believe, or you can install Python stuff into Android phones. And so then you could definitely use Python to build Android games. You're gonna get much better much better frame rates and everything like that if you're not using Python, if you're using Java. But you could totally do it, I'm sure. Something that you might want to look at, though, is Pygame or Bwere. So the Bwere project is pretty awesome. It's by a friend of mine named Russell, and it uses, you write Python code, but it will transpile your Python through bytecode into stuff that will run on Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android. So you can build whatever your stuff is in Python and then transpile it into those other languages, those other bytecodes, other frameworks, and it will work. What's really cool is that you can also transpile it into JavaScript, so you can write Python code that turns into a JavaScript-rich web app, turns into an Android app, turns into an iOS app, turns into a Mac app, and a Windows app all at the same time. He gave a really great presentation about this at PyCon US last year, so I definitely recommend going and checking that out because it's super awesome. Also, if you want to contribute to open source, this is one of the best projects I've ever seen for open source. So definitely try that one out. So let me find my primer here. Okay, so I need to handle this stuff. So that would be 5, not negative 5. This would be left. This would be negative 5 and 0. And this, for right, would be 5 and 0. Right? Yep. Okay, cool. So the IP isn't move in pixels like I thought it was. It's move in place. We're moving it without making a copy of it. So that's cool. There's that. So now, hop back over here to game.py. And before we blit the game, that should be there. All right, so before we blit everything, we want to grab the pressed keys. Pygame.key.getPressed. And then we want to do player.update with the pressed keys. All right, and then we want to blit the screen with the player surface and flip the display. All right, so let's try this out. It's really weird that I can't focus on this Pygame window. Okay, how can I get this to where I can focus on that window? because that's really annoying that I can't focus on that. Let's see what we can find. Pygame, Mac OS X, terminal keys. That didn't help at all. Okay, Pygame Mac OS X key presses. Pygame input goes to terminal. Well, that didn't tell me anything. Let's try this one. If it's inside of virtual env, it's not inside of a virtual env. Let's try pip install pygame force. I want to reinstall this after I reinstall those SDLs. There we go. So maybe that will change it a little bit. I have a feeling it won't, but maybe it will. Nope. Still down there. That's the one we were just looking at. Thanks, browsers. View, reload without content blockers. So it looks like PG0 might have solved this. So let's look up PG0, which is for Pygame 0. So, yeah, let's see what we've got there. We're going to PG0 run, full game loop. Right, that's a little simpler. Okay, so let's try this. So pip install PG0. So that installs that. So that's cool. And then what do I need to do? Installing. We'll look at this introduction to PG0. Okay, so now let's try PGZ run game.py. No module named player. Okay, cool. I'll take all the player stuff. copy it over here. And let's see, let's delete that line and insert a line above there. Save that. Okay, so there's that. Input is still going down there. All right. That's really annoying. All right, I encourage y'all to try and see if you can figure out what's going on with that too. Because you might find things that I don't find. And I would love to have an answer for this to make it not to make it not fail this way. And if that doesn't work, then we'll try something else. So how is everybody doing on this fine Friday? Let's try press. It's been a good day so far for me. Not a whole lot going up. Or not a whole lot going up. Not a whole lot going on right now. Just kind of doing this stuff with y'all. So yeah. That's not gonna work. Yeah, that is really weird that the window doesn't get the focus. Why do I use DuckDuckGo? DuckDuckGo is a really solid search engine, and they don't track what you search. So the less stuff that gets tracked to me, the better. I'd rather not have to deal with, you know, I'd rather not have to deal with being tracked by my search engine. So yeah, yeah, that's a big part of why I also have like a lot of content blockers and things like that. Maybe it's paranoia, but at the same time, you know, there are a lot of people out there that really want to track what everybody's doing. So if I don't have to let them, then that's even better. All right, so I'm just trying and installing a few of these things here real quick. Just kind of seeing what if they'll work on stuff. Because it looks like maybe SDL2 works a little better. I don't know for certain, but we will find out. Really, they're using Cython. Change into a clone of this project, run the following command to modify the virtual AV so Pygame SDL2 header files can be installed in it. Huh. Really? That's a lot to deal with. I don't know that I want to deal with that. So let's just try running the game again with the SDL2 headers on there. Nope. Still focused down there. All right, well, let's try doing this stuff. So touch intro.py, pgz run intro.py. And that gives a screen, and if I do up down, it still shows up in the terminal. So that's just not working. All right, whatever. Yeah, everybody's talking about SDL2, but then you have to do the PySDL Pygame SDL 2, and that's not easy to install. So I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. Pygame SDL 2, which you have to do this, and then they do HG0 and then they run their game, or PG0 and then they run their game. That seems just like a lot of work. That seems like a whole lot of work just to get something running. When inside a virtual environment, but I'm not in a virtual environment. So I don't get how that would be failing. So what is going on? Yeah, no, I want to focus on building the game, Sundar, but the game is literally not working. Like it's not working to the point where I can actually run the game. So wanting to run the game doesn't really matter too much. Let's try, this is just completely weird. I don't think this would work at all. But let's see if Pygame's or PyCharm's running would make it work. I don't think it would, but let's find out. What is this? SO, why is Pygame key get pressed not working as expected? Let's just try searching for, like, Pygame key. Okay, so I'm going to open. Hey, PyCharm. You paying attention? Headless, no windows needed. I need a window though, right? Like we need a window to see the stuff that we're doing. Would I try to avoid using most Google services due to privacy concerns then? I do my best not to use Google stuff. Unfortunately, we use Google for like our scripts and stuff at Treehouse, so I do have to use some Google stuff, and I use Google's Mail, but I don't do anything like super important in Google's Mail. So what is up? Something is just not working right. Terminal issue, PyCharm work. Okay. Yeah, see, like, my dock isn't even showing up. Yoo-hoo! Dock. There you are. You gonna show up? Let's see. Let's just do charm dot. Does Mac use curses as does Linux? I think some Mac stuff will use curses, or more likely it's probably using in curses. But it's not as heavy of a requirement as it is on Linux. So, yeah. This is game.py right here, Marine. I'll leave that up for you. What's going on? Come on, PyCharm. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't exist. So, applications, PyCharm. I don't know what's going on here. Welcome to LiveCoding, y'all. LiveCoding often doesn't work. Yeah, I moved the player class inside game.py only because it was having problems otherwise. So that's all for that. Don't feel like that was because of anything important. Yeah, this is just not working at all. What is going on? I can't even hit buttons. All right, let's try killing Finder. Maybe that'll help. And if it doesn't, then we'll try something else. We'll I don't know. I'll open up idle. We'll see if idle works. Create new project. Open. Anything? Anything? Can I get anything to actually load? To actually respond to a mouse click? Hey, check that out. That's horrible. I don't actually want to open code, though. Okay, do I upload these apps to GitHub or something after the... some of them I do. ABN117. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. It just kind of depends on what's going on. A lot of things I don't upload to GitHub just because it's not to a point where it actually makes sense to have it on GitHub. But other things I do upload, it just kind of depends on like what's going on. Let's see if I can I use this? Okay, and if I click ignore, does that actually work? Yeah, my mouse isn't even working. All right, I don't know what's up with my computer today, y'all. It is just being weird. Okay, so let's go to open. Enter. There we go. /code/game. Right? Okay. That's what I actually want in. Hey, woke up. No problem coming in late. That's fine. Game.py. Here we go. Okay. So we've got this. I'm going to let this update here real quick so it can check up everything. So, and then hopefully we can set up a runner for this. Okay, let's try going into the preferences. I'm having to do all this through keyboard, which is real fun. Project interpreter, yes, that is an invalid virtual env. I will agree with you on that one. So let's just use my system 3.5.1. That's fine. Should see Pygame in here somewhere. No. Oh, wait, I think I have another system one instead. Jacob says that he just got a full-time web dev job working with React. Congratulations on getting a full-time web dev job. Any tips? Not really. I don't know. I don't really know React. I do know that we have a pretty amazing React course, but I haven't really played with it, so I can't say too much. What is going on? I have a feeling it's OBS using up just a ton of processor. So let me look here. I know there's actually a thing here for doing mouse events. So let's see about getting the mouse to follow my or getting the square thing to follow my mouse instead. I don't know that I can, but let's find out. Maybe not. Don't see that in my book. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Alright, let's see. Don't share. Just about finished with the new React Basics course. It's a great start. I also saw there'll be a React Redux course coming out soon. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of stuff coming out for all of our stuff. All right. Edit configurations, game. Run game. No module named Pygame. Okay, cool. So now, can't really get to project interpreter. Command N will let me add one. Okay. I'm going to add a local. Alright, let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, PYENV shims. Can I get that to open? No. 3.5. Is that valid? Which Python? That's not helping me. Shims. There we go. Okay. And let me find... Okay. So use that one. And does this have Pygame? No. Okay. Trying to get stuff working here. Sorry, let me look back over at the chat. So, sorry that you're lost, APN. This has turned into being a weirder thing than I expected. I did not expect this to be so weird. And look up, we're using Pygame because Pygame is the only Python game module that is still actually kind of being supported. There was one called Pyglet, Pyglet, that was around for a while, and it didn't really get run. So what is this? ps-ef grep-i pg0 grep-i python. What? Posnifer, that's just gonna look at the processes that are running, right? Crazy Gamer, it's currently not a game, because it's not working yet. Edit? Cancel. Yeah, no, I'm not using the framework Python. I have Python installed through Homebrew. Or not Homebrew, sorry, through PyEnv, which is installed through Homebrew. So that shouldn't be affecting it. You know what, y'all? I'm going to restart my computer real quick and bring the stream back up. So, do y'all want to just hang out for a couple minutes? And I promise I'll be back in like 5 minutes. And then we'll try running this again. So is that cool with everybody in the stream? Can you hang out for like 5 minutes while I do a restart? Because something is going way wrong. And I don't know what it is. But it's really annoying. Sure. Download it. Why not? Pause. I can see the framework Python being the one that works and the other one not being, but I really don't see that as being... I don't see that as being the actual issue. But maybe it is. I don't know. But I'm going to restart so that I can try to get stuff up. And then I will be right back. So I will see you all in about 5 minutes. So just hang out. Don't go anywhere.